The video has no sound. Mrs. Tahani.
You can start, Miss Tahani.
All right. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Blessed efforts. I know you have just came back from your work. I
Hi,
hope you're
Mr.
gonna find.
Hani.
Hello, everyone. How are you? I'm so glad that
الحمد
you're gonna
لله.
be with me today, all of you.
أكيد مستر هاني، بس ليكي بس عندي one comment.
Yes.
لأنه عندي أنا من السان جورج معلمات عربي، وهن حابين يكونوا معنا لأنه شيء خاصه باللسن بلان وهيك،
Yes.
فبتمنى عليكم تكونوا عم بتنوعوا بين الإنجليش والعربي كرمالهم. عملي
I
معروف.
don't know if we can do this because this is an international webinar. So we have people who doesn't understand Arabic at all, do not understand Arabic at all, you know. But I'm gonna try. تكرم عليك.
اوكي،
I'm
بس
gonna try.
يعني شوي بس يكون في شيء انه اذا بيقدروا بتكون كثير منيح. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, my dear. Okay. Hello, everyone. How are you? Hope you're all fine today. So glad that you're all here with me and hope you're gonna benefit a lot from this session. So today we're gonna be talking about how to create a professional academic lesson plan and why do we need to create it? How can we create it? Yes. Mrs. Maha, I'm with you. Okay. And why do we need to create it? What strategies do I need to follow for my lesson plan to be able to be working where you're going to be working in parallel according to 21st century skill with the students? Okay. First of all, let me first show you the content, all right, of our workshop. We're going to be talking about the lesson plan, how important is it to have effective lesson planning. We're going to be talking briefly about Bloom taxonomy, the 5E model, and what kind of assignment do we need to create in the lesson plan? How do we take into consideration the differential learning in our lesson plan? And by the end, what do we mean by teacher reflection? What do you think I mean by this? And then we're going to be having the conclusion. If you need to ask me anything, you can raise your hand. Okay? Yeah. First, let me introduce myself. I'm Ms. Tahani Yasin. I'm a math coordinator, educational trainer and consultant. And it's my honor to be with you here right now. I'm really happy to have you all with me. All right. So first, let us start thinking about what lesson plan is. So why do you think we need to create a lesson plan? ليه بنعمل lesson plan? Why is it important? ليش لازم تكون included? طب I know the curriculum. Why do I need to prepare myself before I go to the classroom? So does anyone want to share your ideas? You can share on the chat button, or you can raise your hand and talk to me. Ms. Layal?
Yeah, hello everyone.
Hello.
Dear.
First,
thank you for this informative training session, and thanks for presenting such an important part, which is creating a professional lesson plan. First of all, of course, lesson plans are essential to be prepared before we enter any class. First of all, to set my objective for this session. This is first. To organize the time. The time management is very important to be organized during giving this session. Third, we have to be careful for also the activities that we have to apply during this session. And at the
Okay.
same time, we have to be careful for individual differences. So this is, I guess, the most important part in creating lesson plans.
Thank you so much. Great,
You're
great answer. Mr. Raida, would you
Okay,
like to?
creating a lesson plan. Yes, creating a lesson plan is very important since we have many ideas in our mind when we start with a lesson, and we have to brainstorm these points on paper. We cannot just leave them because once you write them, you find that there are many things that you need to include in this lesson. And once you put a lesson plan, you organize them, you put them in a sequence. Then you work on specific objectives, especially when we're talking about lower grades. Sometimes we put a lot of objectives, and when we come to paper, we find that during this session, I can only cover 2 objectives. Then I need to work on the activity. So after that, I need to follow some instructions, the questions that I have to ask before, during, after the activity. And later, how can I evaluate the students during a specific time? I have the session 40 to 45 minutes. So all these play an important role in setting a lesson plan. We cannot attend a session without a specific lesson plan. And time, especially time plays a very important role in teachers' life, actually. We cannot hear you, Mr. Hani.
Thank you so much, Mr. Raida. Mr. Abu Bakr, do you need to add anything for what was mentioned, for what they mentioned? Mr. Ahmed Bidar.
مرحبا.
تفضل.
ثاني sorry. Go Mr. Abubakar.
تفضل مستر أبو بكر. هلا بنرجع نحكي مع مستر أحمد.
Yes,
تفضل.
good afternoon, everyone from Nigeria. Yes, to prepare a good lesson plan, there are so many things to be considered in terms of you when preparing those lesson plan. You have to know the objectives of the student and the categories of the student, and then the content. Also, the learning objectives too has to be considered. And sometimes again, when teaching, there are some things that comes up that does not require the lesson plan during this teaching, and then all those things has to be considered before someone begin to write down his lesson plan for now.
Okay, thank you so much. Does anyone need to add any idea for what they mentioned?
Mr. Hani, can I add it briefly?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks. My name is Ahmed Bitar, a chemistry and business teacher working in Saudi Arabia. Guys, I want to say something related to lesson plans in general. They serve actually as a roadmap for teachers, helping them outline objectives. Moreover, they organize content, create effective learning experiences, communicate to learning.
Your voice is lagging.
Oh, yeah. Do you hear me?
Are you with?
Mr. Hani, do you hear
yes,
me?
now, yes, continue.
Oh, yeah. So lesson plans serve as
yes,
a
I can hear you. Can you continue, please? Yeah.
Yeah. So lesson plans serve as a roadmap for teachers, helping them to outline their objectives. Also, they act like a way of communication, like to deliver to learners what they're supposed to learn and how their goals will be assessed.
I feel or I'm having the problem.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Type. I will rejoin.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, come back, please. Okay. So basically what you have said, all of you, is completely true. It's very important to have the lesson plan prepared with us because believe me, when you are ready, I know that you know the content, but when we are ready, we are really ready. We have the activities, we have provided, maybe we use the AI to help us create some activities. Maybe we need to create some cardboards. Maybe we need to create activities for the students, how to group them. Yani, whenever you plan what you're gonna do and you plan for plan B, it's very important that you follow this plan so that you're gonna have an active class classroom so that they're going to be applying with the students concerning the 21st century skills. All right, so this is basically what we're going to be talking about, and how can I be able to make sure that these objectives are being achieved with our kids. Okay, so first I want you to look at this figure over here. We have different figures, and I need you to take a minute to just write down on a paper in front of you what comes to your mind when you see these. Yani, as you can see, we have 6 to write down. How can you name these figures before we start? All right, yeah. Okay, so for the first page, what can we see? For the first figure, the objective. What are the 2 kids doing in the second? What's happening in the third? Why do we have hands down? In the first figure, what's happening? Heidi the 3. Okay. Mrs. Ruwaida, do you need to share?
Yes. What I can see from these pictures is an active learning class. It's a student-centered at this where it is related to objectives, educational games. At the same time, teacher rotating around to check students' understanding, students engaging by raising hands
Yes.
to answer questions. At the same time, classroom management, since some of the kids are like in the second picture, they are doing something. Yani, you have to be alerted on every single thing. You have to make sure that all these I'm doing when I'm working on an effective lesson plan, since I have to engage cooperative learning, students working with each other, applying it through hands-on activity. So all these play an important role.
You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for mentioning what you said. It's very good that you mentioned the word student-centered learning. So as you can see, the students are being engaged. They are having fun while playing. They are getting the objectives that they need. What is the plan for the teacher when she explains, when she teaches, and how can she make sure that the students have gathered the information? How can she evaluate them? How can she evaluate their understanding and all? All right. So what we're doing right now is just brainstorming about the importance and of the active classroom, which can be tailored through our lesson plan. All right. Now, by looking over here, we can see that there's the importance of effective academic lesson plan. Please write down the notes. Okay, that we're going to be having clear learning objective, organized content, engaging activities, and guide assessment. What do I mean when I say clear learning objective? You know that when we write the objectives of our lesson for the next day, we have to take into consideration objectives that are being able to be measured. Yani, I cannot write, for example, by the end of the lesson, the student will understand this and this and this. So how can you measure the student understanding? To be able to measure this understanding for the students, there are smart objective that you need to be using. All right, and we have to have the organized content. When you are organizing the content, when you are organizing the teaching process, you're going to be able to cover all what's needed. Now we're going to be talking about them. Okay, so by moving first to clear learning objective, as I have mentioned, when you are talking about the clear learning objective, it means that you are talking about the objectives that align with the curriculum. Even the teacher, as we said, hold on. Okay, so this enables the teacher to have measurable goals where she can make sure that the students have understood. what the teacher wants. Mr. Baida, you need to add anything?
لا بس يمكن بعده أنا رافعة إيدي من قبل. لا هلا لا.
Yeah, it's okay. All right. And we're talking about organizing the content. As we have said, that our plan, it will organize the sequence of events and the process that we will be taking in order to be able to make sure that the students have taken هيدي information. يعني, by using scaffolding, when we are breaking down the objectives, when we are making sure that the objectives are gained by the students step by step, it will help a lot to make sure that we have reached our aim and we have made sure that the students have taken and have gained the objective which I want. Also, by engaging activities, we have said, have you ever done engaging activities? Does anyone want to share any engaging activities that can be done with the students? This plays a big role in making the students engage in the class, love your classroom. Ms. Jamila? Ms. Jamila, are you with me? You need to unmute yourself, Ms. Jamila. Okay. Ms. Layal?
Yes, dear. As an English instructor, I used to, for example, role play activity. For example, I have the charades, scavenger hunt,
Yes.
and other more. I'm trying to remember.
You're known for your activities يعني.
Exactly.
شهادتي فيكي مجروحة مثل ما نقول بالعربي. Continue please.
Thank you, dear. During every session, I involve all the students. I engage all the students in different games and different activities. So most of them, just engaging them all. Especially, I use the whole brain strategy to engage all my students.
Yes, and can you see that when you're doing these activities? Yes. I was asking you, when you do this, don't you see that they are more engaged and they want the session and they love the session and they wait your sessions and they really gain the concept which you are explaining in a very fun way?
Totally. They can't wait until my session comes. They call me the teacher, the activity teacher, because I always include in my sessions activities and games. And students really feel excited, interested in their lesson. By the way, even they figure it out alone during this game or this activity. They figure the rule, or they figure for example, if I'm explaining vocabulary words, they figure out their meanings, and also similar to writing, to grammar, and other skills, other English comprehension or reading comprehension skills.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Layal. Mr. Abu Bakr? Mr. Abu Bakr, do you need to add anything? You were raising your hand. Okay. Okay, so as our colleague have, okay, Ms. Infinix, you can talk if you need to add any idea.
Excuse me, can I say something?
Yes, sure, you can.
Because I don't have the hand button, I can't see it, so.
It's okay, you can talk.
Hi, my name is Maisa. Actually, without planning, I think the teacher will get confused during the explanation or during activities. She'll be lost. She won't know what to do, what to say. When there's a plan that has everything included, like all the activities, like brainstorming, everything should be in this plan.
True. I totally agree with you, because sometimes you know why did I ask this question a lot? Because really some teachers say, I already know the content, I already know how to solve, why do I need to prepare? Which is not true. We need to prepare. As we have said, it organizes the content, it gives you the sequential job that you need to do in the classroom with the kids, to grab their attention, to make them explore, to make them elaborate. you know where it, in traditional teaching it was just the teacher-based learning. Yani. Now we are student-centered learning, so you need to give them the chance to explain, to explore. It's not just about us. So that's why we need to plan a lot for the session, so that within the session it's gonna take less work from us. Thank you so much.
Exactly. Thank you.
Thank you, dear. So this is basically what we were saying about the engagement activities. Mr. Waida?
I'm going to, according to my teaching experience. Actually, since I was an English teacher, I
Yes.
used to do many debates for the students, because I used to teach cycle two classes. And for me, inquiry-based learning was very important, since especially in writing or in introducing a new theme or a new lesson, I used to give a guided question for the students. They go research, they get information, we build upon this information, and then from there they start to narrow their ideas until we reach the final caption of the lesson, or the idea of the lesson, the moral behind it. Then we start proceeding into different things.
True. I totally agree with you. And this will help them to work on their critical skills, on their creativity as well. Thank you. Mr. Abu Bakr, do you need to talk? Okay. So also, we're going to be talking about one of the importance, which is that our lesson plan, it guides the assessment. You know that we don't make only the exam, which we use it when the traditional teaching, just a paper, and we need to fulfill it. No, right now we're doing a lot of things. We're doing the formative assessment, which I call like a video. It's like taking a video for the student performance throughout the year. All right, which is the fair kind of assessment, in my opinion, because we are checking with the student every while, and then when he is having that gap, where do we need to work on the gaps? When do we need to work on the gaps? So it's very important that we have to include this within our lesson plan. For example, in my team, what we do is that by when we have different objectives, before moving to another objective, we make sure that the student is being evaluated with a guided discussion, or throughout maybe any practical exercise in the classroom, or any classwork which is marked, or homework, or online homework, or any educational game throughout the internet. So these all can help the teacher to make sure that the students are achieving the goal that she wants them to do. Okay, so it's very important to plan in our lesson and to include the assessment as a part of the job which is needed, to identify the gaps, and to be able to modify your yearly plan according to the gaps which you have found. لأنه we are always in need to modify our yearly plans to be able to work in parallel with the student understanding. We don't just work with the yearly plan that we have prepared before. We always need to modify it. All right. Now, I want to introduce for you this briefly about Bloom taxonomy, which has to be included in our lesson plan. Okay. So I'm gonna make sure to open this. Hold on. I need you to watch this video because I'm gonna be having some questions about it. All right. Yeah.
I would like a discussion in more details on so anticipated.
Ms. Tahani, sorry for interruption. You need to share your computer sound. Kindly.
Okay, yeah. You cannot hear the sound. Hold on, let me share it. Yeah.
No, they can't hear the sound, so just make it.
Reshare it. Now
it's more common. Educator, psychologist Dr. Benjamin Bloom led a team of researchers and educators who developed a model for educational learning objectives. Their goal was to create a taxonomy to help improve critical thinking skills in school.
And this is very important, okay? What is the goal of Bloom taxonomy and how can we achieve this goal? And how can we then include this in our lesson plan, all right?
The end result was the Taxonomy of Educational Objectives in 1956, but it's more commonly referred to as Bloom's taxonomy. This model broke learning objectives down into 3 different domains.
Does anyone know what are the 3 domains of learning? Do you know what are the 3 different domains that we do in learning? I'm gonna give you the first one, cognitive. When we are talking about the cognitive, we are talking about the information that we want to share regarding the subject we are explaining, all right? The information. But what other 2 domains? Does anyone have an idea?
Yeah, Ms. Tahani. Cognitive, affective, psychomotor.
Affective and psychomotor also. Hi, I'm Miss Jamila.
Yes,
Affective
thank you
and
so much.
yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Yeah.
The first was the cognitive domain, which focused on the acquisition of knowledge. The second was the affective domain, which focused on emotions and attitudes, and it tends to be tied to things like student engagement. And the final was the psychomotor domain, which focused on actions and motor skills. The most prominent of these domains was the cognitive domain, and it's still what many educators use when crafting objectives and learning targets, constructing questions, designing assessments, and coming up with their basic lesson plans. Bloom's taxonomy is often represented as a hierarchy, though it was never explicitly meant to treat lower levels as less than or higher levels as better than. Instead, the bottom levels are foundational and they build progressively up into those higher levels. Here is the original Bloom's taxonomy, which goes from knowledge to comprehension to application to analysis to synthesis and eventually to evaluation.
This is the original one, all right? They modified it later, but this is the original one. And it shows you how to move from fundamental learning to make them think higher, okay? Higher order skills. Yeah.
But more recently, scholars have updated this Bloom's taxonomy by taking knowledge out of the cognitive domain and making a new knowledge domain with factual knowledge, conceptual knowledge, procedural knowledge, and metacognitive knowledge. They've also revised the cognitive domain, which is what we're going to focus on right now. The first level is remember, which focuses on the recall or retrieval of.
Are all students is it easy for all level of students that we have in the classroom?
Actually, we have different types
remember?
of. We have a short memory and long memory. This is the meaning of remember.
Learner.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we have a short memory and long memory for
Yes.
students, يعني, between students, and it's different between one student and another.
Yes, true. But
Yeah.
here, what they mean here by the remember part is that when you are explaining a new concept to the students, we start by making them reminding them about some things. Yes,
prior knowledge.
the prior knowledge, for example, and so on. So what I mean here, and especially when you include this in your exam, is that we need always to put a part for the remember, because we have different levels for students. Some students, Anjad, they do a lot of effort in the exam.
But they can't remember anything
and
they
when
took
it comes
before.
to the math exam, for example, or they cannot solve the higher order skilled question, like when you want to analyze and so on. So that's why, in my opinion, it's very important that you include a question for 2 or 3 points, which include, for example, the remember part. Yani if a student was able to study, for example, that a median and the definition for a median, for example, why not to put it for them like matching or MCQ question or whatever, okay? So let's give this kind of learners a chance that they do the effort and they can find the effort in their assessment or in the lesson plan when we are explaining.
Information. Students might be able to list the order for classifying organisms, define the symbols on a map, recall how to shoot a free throw, or identify how to search for information online. The second part is understand, which focuses on comprehension rather than just recall. Here, students engage in organizing, translating, and generalizing the information. Students might summarize the key events in a novel, classify government systems given case studies, clarify the next steps in playing an instrument, or explain how they solved a problem, which leads to the
As you
next
can
phase,
see in
which
this
is
level, students make more effort than the remember part, where they need, for example, to reorder some steps. هيدا الشيء I need to make sure that I am making my students know it, and that I'm working on helping the students gain this. Okay, so when we are moving from the remember part to the next part, which is the understand part, we are working now on, let's say, a higher order skill. And this is basically what I want you to understand, that when you are moving this way, we are working from lower order skills to higher order skill. All right? Yeah. Let's continue this.
apply. Here, students use prior knowledge in a new situation. They might involve practicing a skill in a new context, or students might provide advice in a given scenario. They might use rhetoric to improve a technique in speech, apply a strategy to a new problem, or carry out a test in a science experiment. The fourth level is analyze, where students examine and break down the information. Here they might identify causes and effects in a historical event or a scientific phenomenon. They might compare and contrast ideas or ideologies, make inferences, look for trends in mathematical data, or find evidence to support their generalizations. The fifth level is evaluate, where students defend opinions, make judgments, and assess information. Students might rank inventions for their impact in history, draw conclusions from a scientific experiment, judge the validity of data in a mathematical set, or assess the quality of a theatrical performance.
So as you can see, we started by the remember part, and then, okay, we started by the remember part, and then we moved to the understand part.
Understanding
then
part.
we moved to the, yes, to apply. How can they apply? Then how can they analyze? How can they be evaluated, or how can they justify their opinion in a way or another? What do you think the last stage will be, since we're working on critical thinking and creativity? So what do you think the last stage will be in Bloom taxonomy?
Can I say something? It's
No
to
one
create.
knows?
It's myself. It's myself. It's to create.
Yeah.
After finishing,
About
remember,
create.
understand.
Create.
Yeah. No.
Or a work of art.
After remembering.
The sixth and final level is create, where students generate something new based on knowledge. Know that there are some valid criticisms of
I'm
Bloom's
gonna
taxonomy.
stop it over here, because
First,
what I need to talk about is the cognitive part. We need to know that it's very important when we are explaining the concept for the kid. We need to move with these, and when we are writing the objectives in the lesson plan, we need to sort out which objective am I working on. And this is very beneficial, because by the end of the lesson, you will see if you have done any objective which will help a student to be creative and to create. You will be able to evaluate your work if you have provided the students with any of these 6 levels. All right. So let me move over here. Now I need to ask you some questions. Do you think if I follow Bloom taxonomy, and if I include Bloom taxonomy in my lesson plan, will this be beneficial for my kids in the class? What do you think?
Of course, it would be very beneficial.
Why do you think?
I'll tell you why. When you apply the taxonomy,
Bloom.
it's all about, like, when you remember, and if you apply actually all these stages, you will create an amazing student. He will be able, this child will be able to remember all the things that all the objectives, to understand, to analyze. Why, for example, I'm just going to give an example. Why did the plant, why did the plant grow up? As science. The
Yes.
first thing he's gonna remember,
Okay.
he's gonna remember what he did before, and then he's gonna understand why the plant is growing up. By applying this these two stages that we said before, he will be able then to
Okay.
analyze.
Can I
Okay.
talk?
So you can explain the
Exactly. If you it's not just by asking questions. Asking
So the
questions.
yeah,
Excuse me, I
Mrs.
don't know.
Continue.
No, please go on.
Okay, so the objectives might be clear. Not might, they will be clear for this for me actually first, and for the students, and it might also that يعني, like we are working on the of how to develop the our curriculum in our school. This is one. This is two actually. Yeah, and also it develops critical thinking. Definitely. Yeah. What also? Yeah,
Okay,
only
let's
this.
thank you. Let's see, Mr. Ahmad Bitar.
Okay, Mr. Tahani, I agree with my colleague regarding critical thinking. Bloom taxonomy, actually, as you said, it is like an old way of arrangement, let's say, in the field of education at the level of teachers and educators. But it should be like supported by critical thinking, logical reasoning, and more specifically, differentiated instruction and inclusive learning. Just to be like applicable to the new millennium. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Mr. Waida, do you need to add any more ideas?
I just want to say that when you apply it in class before going into the exam, when you train the students to have this sequence, it becomes easier for them when they see that the type of questions you ask in class, they won't find it hard when it comes to assessment. First, when we are in the assessment stage, when having the SA summative assessment or something, first of all, there are many benefits from it. I'm giving the chance for those students who are not up to the level a little bit. I don't want to say something else, not as all the students. So I'm giving the chance in these two exercises, especially the understanding and the remembering part, and to get some grades before going to the higher level questions. So it's very important. I'm working on two levels. I'm giving the chance for the students who are very clever to raise this critical thinking for them. I'm giving the chance for those students who are not able to reach this level, at least to have some grades before reaching the last part, because if we didn't do that, they are always going to feel like they are not going to reach.
True. I totally agree with what you have said, and I want to repeat a word which you have just said, which that we have to train the students on using Bloom taxonomy. When you are training them, and I always say we cannot just put the critical thinking questions, for example, in the exam. We need to train students about this in the classroom before they do their assessment or before we evaluate them, because we make them apply it more and more and more. We are training them how to think. We are helping them to critical think and not just to be thinker. They need to think a lot. They need to be creative in their answers. For example, if I'm an English teacher, I can say for the student the beginning of a story, and I can tell them, what do you predict? What can you predict? And even in mathematics, we tell the student, for example, read this question. Okay, I read the first sentence. Before you continue, how can you analyze it? After you analyze it, read the next one. Analyze it. So before you move to the third, is there a link between the first and the second sentence? Why do we have this given in front of us? Link them together. Here you're training your students to be creative, to critical think, and this is how you make it. I can say for them, can you predict the question after this? So when you're asking students to predict these questions, you are helping them to be creative. And this is basically very important that we train them this during the classroom which is pre-prepared within the lesson plan to be able to apply in the assessment. All right, so let me move on. These are the 6 levels we were talking about. It's very important that we include them all in the classroom. And before I move on, I just want to show you, okay, here we just put ideas about how can it help me, how can Bloom taxonomy help in assessment. It helps a lot in assessment, in your classroom organization. And here, Redmi, do you need to add anything? Redmi? Mrs. Redmi? Okay, hold on. Yeah, okay, so here we were. When we're talking about Bloom taxonomy and lesson plan, how can it help me in writing the objective and identifying them, choosing the best activities that I can do in the classroom to be able to make it easier for the kids through practical activities, and then to finalize by assessing them, right? So as you can see, I include this, okay, in my lesson plan. I put the objectives, I sort them this way, and I put the psychomotor and the affective part. For example, the psychomotor, by the end of the session, the student will be able to draw or use the compass to draw. Okay, the affective domain is, for example, when they are working in groups and when they value an information that you are explaining for them. Within the session, for sure, I will not fulfill all of this. But it's very important that when we put these 2 or 3 objectives for the session, it is very important that we know to which level does this belong. Ms. Redmi, do you need to add any idea? I can hear you. Ms. Redmi? Okay. So basically, this is all about Bloom taxonomy and how can you implement it within your lesson plan. It's important that when you add the objective, you fulfill these, but at least add 3, and مش at least, at most add 3, no more, because we cannot have more than 3 objectives within the lesson to make sure that all the students have gained this objective. All right, now let's move on to another thing which must be included in our lesson plan. It is called the 5E models. What do you think about the 5E model? I want you to look at these photos, and I want you please to write down on a paper in front of you what can you see in these photos. Okay, do we see, for example, this or this? What about the classroom? How can you describe these? What activities are done? Which of these do you do? All right. Thank you, Ms. Layal, Ms. Amal, for everyone on the chat bottom. I have just on the chat. I have just seen them. Ms. Nada and all. Okay. Yeah. Ms. Layal.
Yes, hello again. According to 5E, I usually apply let's say, lesson plan in my class. First of all, as I see that there is a class which debating something, or probably answering Socratic questions, hands-on activities, group work, cooperative group work. We have whole brain strategy here, engaging all students, and a lot of things more. Discussing things, problem
Like
solving.
discussion.
Okay.
Yeah. Students.
Yes. Yes. Talk.
Students are actually engaging. They are participating with the teacher. They are engaging with the lesson explanation. Also, I can see that some students are exploring by applying experiments in the lab, and also I can see students that are, for example, explaining to another student by pair work or group work.
Okay.
Yeah, and
طيب, I need to ask a question concerning these images. Okay. Okay. I need to ask a question. Do you think here we have a big role for the teacher or a big role for the class?
no, it's student-centered
It's for
actually.
the students.
I
Student-centered.
guess here
Okay.
the teacher
Mm.
here is the kind of facilitator. That's it. The teacher
Just
here is
Excellent.
kind of
observing.
Guiding,
yeah,
guiding
just
students
giving
only.
instructions, guiding
Excellent.
students.
Yeah.
Mr. Waida, do you need to add?
I just want to say what are the 5
True.
E's actually.
Mr. Waida?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Need to
So
add more.
yes, I just want to emphasize the
Yes, I can
concept
hear
of 5 E's. Yes, the 5 E's actually are, as the teachers actually said now, the students need to explore, they need to engage, they need to explain. The space is all given to them. They need to elaborate, like the teacher facilitates the idea, she engages also with them, but they need to elaborate, and at the end, they are evaluated. So mainly these are the 5E model.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear
Hello?
you.
Now we can hear you. You're back now.
Yeah, you were off. You went offline.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, we can now.
Okay. Thank you. I got disconnected. Sorry, I got disconnected. I think I'm having problem. A sec, because I need to move to hotspot. Just give me a sec, please. Okay, so I need you, meanwhile, so we won't waste time. I need you to look at these images. Try to think, do you apply any of these in your classroom? And if not, are you able to apply any of them in your classroom? If yes, which? If no, which? All right?
Yeah, actually, when you do group work, students of course apply 5E
Okay.
within the group work.
Okay.
Actually, when they finish their work or their task given by the teacher, so definitely, of course, then they are gonna elaborate and evaluate by, for example, concluding or
Okay.
yeah, by concluding or
Analyzing too.
yeah.
Okay. Let me show you this. Let me move to next slide, and I need you to try to write these in the correct order. Okay? I gave you these terms, and hold on. Okay, so I gave you these terms. Okay, A, B, C, D, E. I need you to try to put these in order. Which one do we start usually
Okay,
with?
the first is C,
لحظة
which is
لحظة
engage.
لحظة. Just 1 minute, please. Just I've been talking and did you listen to me?
Actually, I think we all just heard you.
Okay.
Yes, need to put these in the correct order, right?
Okay, great. I thought yes.
Yeah, but I want to say something, Mr. Hani.
Yes.
That now the updated 5 E's now became 7 E's, by the way.
7 E's. Yes.
They I guess they added extend to the part which is after evaluate, and I guess they added illicit before
Yes.
the level engage. So they become illicit, then I guess engage, explore, explain, elaborate, evaluate, and extend.
This is yes. They start with the engage phase. After they engage the students, they move to the illicit and then explore and. But right now, I did not include the 7E models. I was just talking about the 5E models and how can we follow these steps. After the teachers are able to, we say, adapt this or work with this in a very easy way, they can move to these new 2 items which they have just done, because Aslan in the elaborate part they are applying again and again and again, you know. So we're gonna be talking right now about the 5E models, but the 7E models is the newest one. They first changed it to the 6 and now to the 7, but I did not include it, to be honest, in my lesson plan, because I do not want to go through the 7 steps. I just want to make sure with the 5 steps لأنه هيدول already they will include what was added, you know. So there is no need to split these. All right, but you can work if you want the 7 ones. Now what I want from you to do, after you look at these, which one do you think you should start your plan with? Which one?
Engage.
Engage first, of course. Engage.
Then
It's explore.
But sorry, excuse me. Don't you think that we need to explain for the students what they have to do? Then they engage, then elaborate, then they explain, then they explore.
I totally disagree that the teacher start by explaining, because when you are engaging the student, Mr. Raida, because when you are
I mean,
engaging
I don't want to explain, but I mean, يعني, I enter the class.
yes.
Don't they? You have to put something for them. I don't want the teacher to explain.
As a title, maybe.
I want the teacher to give them like
a general idea
or something, so they can start from there. That's what I meant.
Yes, what you mean, شفتي هيدا the thing that you are doing right now. You're gonna see that in the engage phase there are different options for you to be able to do, to be able to grab the student attention through giving them, for example, a problem, through providing for them a curiosity question. So هيدا الشيء اللي انت عم تقولي, we do not call it explain, because when we say explain, it is the teacher role. It is the only teacher role مبدئيا over here in the 5E models. First, you make them engage more. How can you engage them? By, if you want, giving them a problem which you are talking about, but we don't call it.
Okay, if you meant this, I didn't take it from this angle, and I take it from giving it
and
an idea.
when we move to the engage and take it in deeper understanding for it, you will see that you have different types of engagement activities that you can be doing with the kids in the classroom. And now we're gonna see it. Mr. Ahmed Bitar, do you need to add anything?
Miss Tahani, I want to say something important. I agree. I totally agree to start with engage to trigger the learner's curiosity. Then we go through exploration. Okay, by like presenting like a video. Then we ask them to share their idea that has two goals. The first one is to collect their misconception. Second, that we can like gather their information based on the other on the video or anything presented. After that, we go through explanation. Okay, explanation. Then evaluate, then elaborate. Elaborate, then evaluate. Elaborate, then evaluate.
Okay. I agree with you. We're gonna see this, but let me hear the Miss Nada. Thank you, Mr. Ahmed.
Miss Tahani, I have like a request, if it is possible.
يلا بس Miss Nada. Mr. Ahmed.
Can we like get?
Hello, Miss Nada. Just give me a minute.
Just
good evening. لحظة Miss Nada. أستاذ أحمد.
Miss, can we get like an idea lesson? You are the math coordinator and you like prepared many lesson plans. Can we get like a sample from you through email, just
Yes.
like
Yes, yes.
yeah. But
You know, Mr. Ahmad, let me show you this. By the end of this workshop, I will show you the a sample for the lesson plan which I use. This is a part, okay, from the lesson plan which we use in my team, in the math department team. Okay. So here we write the objective. We choose to write 3 out of them. Hey, the screenshot from my lesson plan, you know. So this is I'm putting them step by step. All right.
all right, thank you.
By the end of each one, you're gonna see how do I include these 5E models in my lesson plan. Okay.
Okay.
Mrs. Nada Sabah.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, my dear.
It depends here, the 5E learning lesson plan, it depends to the material first. Maybe there is some materials it not need to explain or to, only to engage. Maybe it depends to the material. مثلا I can give my students a lesson to prepare at home. It depends to the grade also. It's different from grade to grade how to use this 5E learning lesson plan.
Can I interrupt you? Can I interrupt you?
Okay.
Okay. When you give them this to prepare at home and they're gonna come back to you, this is kind of engagement. Okay, this is
Yes.
kind of engagement.
Yes.
So, okay, continue.
Yes, it's kind of engagement. I begin with engagement. I am also, and repeat that it depends to the material. Maybe it's depend on economics lesson plan. It is to the secondary level, you know, as economic, as I am economic teacher. So it depends. I ask them to engage, then to elaborate, then to discuss or explain it with them. I get their answers, and we will have to conclude or to evaluate their questions.
Okay, we will see. Right, thank you. Basically, let's move on here. The correct order of these is first we start by engaging them. When I engage them, if you can look, how did I do? First, I don't just give you the information. I was asking about your ideas. My engagement for you concerning this part, for example, is that I gave you some images which I need you to clarify what comes to your mind when you see them. So this is how I try to trigger your thoughts. In Bloom taxonomy, I try to make you engage by showing you, for example, the video and so on. So first we start by engaging the kids in our classroom, and then I still have no role here. I just guided them through different strategies. Then I made them explore. It's very important that you make students explore before you explain. And what will they never forget is the explore phase, and how did they think about it? And then how did you fix, or how did you modify, or how did you clarify their thoughts in a correct way in your explanation part? Then you can, it's like they are exploring again, but now they have the correct methodology in their mind. So here now we're elaborating, and this is Mrs. Ruwaida, which I was talking about, that in the elaborate part, some books call it, some websites do not call it elaborate, they call it extend, because in this part, the student is applying what you explained for him and extending the knowledge throughout different circumstances, all right? And finally, after we've do all of these, it is the part where we evaluate their understanding. And by evaluation, we do not mean that I can make sure that they understood throughout a quiz or whatever, maybe just by discussion, maybe just by a game, maybe a competition, a group work or whatever. I just need to make sure that they have gained the concept. And if you look over here, but Miss Layal, do you have a question?
No, I just wanted to add something you were mentioning about the explore phase.
Yes.
You were saying that it is very important part. And
Yes.
I want to say, yeah, you're totally true. Because even during this phase, as I experienced in my class with my students, whenever I apply this phase, students, for example, I want to, after finishing the explore phase, I wanted to go to the explain phase. They just figure things out alone without even explaining it to them because they have explored it alone first. Okay,
True.
so that's why
I
it's very important. I just guide them, I just facilitate things to them
excellent.
during the
True.
explain phase. That's why I totally agree with you because I experienced this with my students in class.
Yeah, and let me add one more point to what you were saying. في شيء اسمه misconceptions. It is very important, عن جد, please keep this in our mind. It is very important that we include the misconception in our lesson plan and in our classroom. And when we include this, we avoid students from falling within these misconceptions. يعني. And these things, the students will fall فيهم in the explore phase. So it is very important for them to check where they may fall or where may they have any misconception after you explain it. Because believe me, the best part that the students gain in your class is what they did wrong in the explore part. After you explain for them and they elaborate in a new situation. So it's very important to and المشكلة إنه نحن يعني بالtraditional teaching we always explain for the students and we always forget about, we may start with the engagement but we always forget about the explore part. And أنا كمان هون I want to really يعني nag on something, mention something. It is very important, teachers in our classroom, that when we ask a student to solve, the other kids are not just sitting around and waiting for him to solve on the board. Please make all the kids in your classroom solve in the same time so that they are all exploring. Okay, and this is mentioned هلا بتشوفوها in the lesson plan as well. Ms. Zahra, do you need to add anything? تفضلي. I cannot hear you. Yes, تفضلي. Ms. Zahra, you're muted. Okay, Ms. Ruwaida, do you need to add anything? Okay, yeah. So we were talking about the engage phase, right? And now let's define it. In this phase, as you can see over here, we are creating this medium for the students to be able to share with us, to be able to grab their attention, to be able to build some understanding, to make them share, to make them discuss, to make them brainstorm some ideas and so on. And you're going to see this by showing you the different types of engagement that you can do in the classroom. And this is a very important slide here. Okay, here are some ideas that you can use in your classroom to be able to engage the students, okay? And they are very important. Please take note of them, all right? And this has to be included in the engage phase in your lesson plan, all right? So here, for example, we can discuss, we can create a problem. And you know, it's very important for the kids that when you tell them, let me tell you what happened with me. So when you are presenting for them a problem or sharing a real life experience for you, this will grab their attention a lot. When I, for example, explain for them that, I don't know, any problem that they may occur in real life, it will grab their attention more than that when I ask them about something which is just from virtual world, let me say. Okay, I would just like مثل ما هو in the curriculum it's written. We need always to provoke their curiosity. We need always to make open-ended questions with them so that they can all share, they can all discuss, and so on. Okay, Ms. Nariman. Ms. Nariman, you can unmute yourself and talk. Yes, تفضلي. Nariman, Ms. Nariman, I cannot hear you. Okay. So it's very important that you include any of these. And if you can look over here, you see that I highlighted the EdTech, and this is very important. This can be included in any of the phases, in your assessments, in your assignment. It's very important that you work on the EdTech with the students. And by that, I mean integrating technology in education. It is very important to integrate technology in education. And let me say this for you briefly. I can integrate technology in education through presenting a video and then discussing it, maybe through flipped learning, maybe through, I don't know, educational websites, maybe through, most students have problem with multiplication table. For example, games on the internet where there are two cards and my name is Tahani. I can make a card called Tahani and they start asking me 5 times 8, and when I answer the question in a correct way, I can get the card more close to me, and so on. So there are fun games which are e-learning games, let's say, which are important to include in your lesson plan. And the teachers and my team, we always for example, if you know what, the live worksheets, they have a lot of
Mr. Wenda told us about them actually, and she ensured to put them in our lesson plans, like life
yes,
worksheet and links related
yes,
to
Some activities.
and they
yeah,
are so beautiful for the kids. They are so
they
beneficial
are,
for the kids.
and they are engaging a lot. Yeah, students are doing it and loving it actually. Life
You know
worksheet,
why? Do you know why, Ms. Jamila? Because they can self-evaluate themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And they are,
And
for example, playing and learning at the same time.
yes,
So
definitely.
so beneficial, yes.
Yes, thank you. Miss مين كان عم بيحكي؟ Miss ميسا. Okay, Miss Jamila.
It was me, Miss Maisa.
Yeah, I was talking.
Yes, Miss Jamila, do you need to add any idea?
Yeah, I was talking like Mr. Waida said.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, I am one
Yeah,
that's
Mr. Waida, do you need to add any more ideas?
Yes, dear. I just want to say that this is what I was talking about, yani, in the engaging, but maybe I say it in another way. That when
Yeah.
we present a problem for them, and from there they start, or when we give them a
Yes.
point or an idea, and they build up their background information on what they already know about the subject. When we engage them, we can do the KWL, for example,
Yes.
what they know, that what they want to know, and what they learned after they did all the process.
Yeah,
And thank you for my teachers who gave this feedback, because yes, when we applied live worksheets, word wall, Kahoot, for example,
Yes,
there are many websites that
yes.
help students find learning easier and at the same time interesting or entertaining for them, rather than just paper and book work.
Yes.
We reach the same goal, we reach the same objectives, but in a different way, where we keep the students always happy when they are working, rather than thinking that it is a must, or is it it's a homework that I must do.
Okay, thank you so much. Angel, thank you so much. Okay, so as you have seen, Mr. Baida, يعني, these are all ideas that you explain for them, but مش explain for the concept, explain the problem and whatever, so that you grab their attention, and then you make them go to the next stage, which is explore. And this is found in your lesson plan, and you're gonna see it. When we're talking about the explore, هلا هيدا أخذ معي شوية وقت ال 5E models، بس ضروري نفهمه because it is the teaching process that we are moving in our lesson plan. All right. So when we are in this explore phase, we are allowing the students to be able to explore the objective and to think critically, and maybe to develop their conceptual understanding. It's very important that we work on the conceptual understanding for the students. When they do the explore phase, هن هون عم بيلقطوا على الconcept which we want them to do. يمكن through hands-on activities, يمكن through group work where they are working on something, I don't know. You have different types of and different activities that you can include in the explore phase, which is a very important phase. Here, you still have no role. You are just giving them questions. You are just giving them guided questions. And now becomes your role as the teacher of the class. هون بيكون الرول of the teacher started really and بيكون the role of the students to listen for you. بيصير في هن بطلوا هن active working right now. Here you are trying to give them clear information and correct information, and you have figured out where are their misconceptions, and you are able to know where to work and how to overcome هدول الgaps. And this is how you plan your work. This is how you plan it in the yearly plan. All right. So in the explain phase, here you are working with the kids. You are explaining for them in whatever way that you want. All right. After you do that, you move to the elaboration. In fact, the elaboration phase is 2 steps. Here the students, they apply. And here the students, they apply, but in a new situation. يعني when the students here they are applying what you have explained. You have explained what they have explored. Okay, so here when they are in the elaborate phase, they are working more on the conceptual understanding for the concept which you want them. Maybe you're gonna be doing them through collaborative activity in the class, through discussions, I don't know, through working, through solving. There are different types or different activities that you can do in the elaborate phase which needed to be included. But the elaborate phase happens, it is similar to the explore, but with a more applying after you explain and not before you explain. Here the students have the correct concept to work on, and this correct concept they gain it from your explanation. Okay, and finally after we elaborate for the students and we see where the gaps are and did they understand or they did not, here we come to the closure part of the session. هيدي evaluate here we don't mean by it to assess يعني here as يعني hard copy quiz. No, here the point is that you make sure فيني أعمل for example here evaluate part فيني أعمل mind mapping issues، فيني أعمل simple quizzes إذا بدي، فيني أعمل مثل tickets، فيني أعمل مثل شيء ما بعرف شيء، فيني أعمل open ended discussions recap for what I have explained. There are lots of things that you can do here to make sure that your kids in the class have gained the concepts which you have been explaining for them.
Organizer.
Yes.
Or a graph organizer. أو
yes graph organizer هي مثل mind map. وفي applications if you want to do this through technology لأنه التكنولوجي كتير مهمة. فيك تفوتي في google.it if you know it. I can show it to you by the end of the session. It's very important. Or through Jamboard هو كتير بيكونوا interactive معهم. Okay. Yes. All right, dear. Now we're gonna, as we have said, the difference between the explore and the elaborate is that in the elaborate phase, the students know the concept from you, but in the explore phase, they do not know the concept. بعد ما شرحوا هون, they are trying to figure it out on their own. All right? So, okay, so as we have said, it's very important to include it in the lesson plan. وهلا حنشوف كيف لأنه it is student-centered learning. It helps you to have active classroom and it empowers the use of inquiry-based models. It's very important to work with the inquiry-based models and 21st century skills بدهم student-centered learning. Okay, so هيدا for Mr. Ahmed, I think you asked me about the lesson plan which I use. هيدا another screenshot for the teaching process which I use with my team. Okay, so here نحن بنعمل شيء اسمه teaching process and how do I apply this. And here you can use AI to help you to create any activity or anything for this. You can use AI. For example, I can tell the AI اللي هن artificial intelligence, any website for example, مثل ChatGPT and so on. You can tell them, I want you to help me to write a teaching process in my lesson plan to include these ideas following the 5E models, okay? And you write the title of the lesson, you write the grade, and you write the time, and it can help you to write this process. If you have no idea about what to include, you can go back to AI, okay? So this is basically a part or a screenshot from my lesson plan, which includes the 5E models, okay? Yeah.
I have a question. Can the 5E model be
yes.
applied for every lesson? For every lesson?
Yes, نحن in my team we applied for every lesson لأنه ال 5E models is the best strategy that you can use with the kids. يعني when you engage them, otherwise بيصير traditional teaching ليه؟ I need to engage the students, I need to grab their attention. After this, I need to make them explore, to explore anything. And then what I need from the concept that I need to like إذا ما اشتغلتي like this with the kids, you are helping the students to get the information إذا كان تلميذ كتير شاطر, but through procedural understanding and not conceptual understanding. والفرق بين ال conceptual understanding وال procedural understanding إنه التلميذ مثل الكمبيوتر بحل knowing nothing, just writing the rule, just applying the rule, for example, without هاي البيج knowledge اللي عنده إياها إنه why I need to do this in every step. عرفتي؟ بينما لما أنت تشتغلي معه بهيدي teaching process, you are making sure they are understanding the concept in a conceptual matter. Okay? And this is very important. يعني you can get ideas. لكن عن جد don't think إنه it's hard. يعني I used to think إنه it's hard. بس عن جد this does not take a lot of time. Especially يعني نحن my team كانت أول فترة تاخد الليسن بلان عم بيعملوها كتير وقت. But then ما بعرف إذا هني هلا معي أو لا, بس then ما بطلت تاخد هالقد وقت, يعني صارت كتير هينة. Okay?
Yeah, but sometimes activities or group work, they might take time.
Yes. اوكي, حدا كان عم بعيط لي كمان. يس تفضل.
هلا انت وعم تحكي بس ثواني, كتبت لتشات جي بي تي انه يعمل لي lesson plan للجريد 7 عن الفيزيكال والكيميكال تشينج using 5 E models. كانت روعه, كانت النتيجه
رائع.
ايه بطل نحن هلا بال 2024 بطل الاستاذ يعتل هم انه يعمل lesson plan اكثر ما انه يطبقها نفسها. عرفتي كيف؟
Definitely true, and that's what I tell. I do not hide how easy this is from my teachers. I share it with them. I make them take their ideas from there. And then what I care the most is not just إنه هن حضروا هالليسن بلان أو أنا حضرت هالليسن بلان. What I care the most is applying it. Believe me, إذا كان التيتشر منه convinced فيها, they will not. They will prepare it for you and they will do whatever they want in the classroom without following it. بس هيدا وين ببين بالنتيجة. يعني لما تفوت انت على صف تلاقيه عن جد active, يعني التلميذ ما معه وقت يعني يلتهي, whatever they just want to, they are just sharing information, they are just discussing. يعني عن جد بيكون الصف رائع when you create هدول activities and prepare for them. And you're gonna see when you apply 5E models in your classroom قديش شوي بتكونوا اشتغلتوا a lot on the conceptual understanding for the material or for the concept that you want. Okay? هلا أنا ما حأعمل break out room, بس I want you to take like 3 minutes عشان بس ما أطول عليكم. Try to fulfill هيدول the 5 stages according to your subject that you teach. Okay? So بس please إذا فينا ناخد like 3 to 5 minutes, just write ideas لإلكم, not to share it right now with me on this. Okay? The engage, the explore, the explain, the elaborate, and the evaluate. وبليز أنا أول ما تعلمت ال 5E model كان دايما اتلخبط بين ال explore وال elaborate. ال elaborate, it is the phase where they apply and where they apply according to new circumstances, depending on the concepts that you explained after they explored. Okay? Try to apply it. وعلى فكرة هيدا الشيء كتير بيساعدكم مع الأولاد بالصف, that they have maybe that they are hyper, or حتى لما يكون عندي low achievers in the classroom تعرف how to امشي معهم. وهيدا الشيء حنرجع نشتغل فيه بالdifferential learning. Okay, so try to have 2 minutes or 3 minutes to try to fulfill this. I can see who's not working. Okay, let me move on. هلا اللي فيكم تعملوه if you find anything hard you can go back to ChatGPT and it can help you a lot, okay? But you need to learn how to talk to ChatGPT لأنه the better your prompt is يعني the language that you are talking with AI with, the better your prompt is, the more the answer is going to be what you really want from the ChatGPT to create for you, okay? Yeah. Now let me move on to this. Here, I need you to make this activity with me. I will send this link on chat. Okay, I need you please to go to this link. Okay, واللي بده في إذا فاتحين من اللابتوب فيكم بس تعملوا سكان لهيدي ال QR to be able to join the Mentimeter and to share ideas. Yeah. And this is a way, by the way, this is something that you can do with the kids in the classroom as an assignment أو أي activity بالصف. كتير بيكيفوا فيها إذا كان معهم devices, okay? To share ideas. هيدي هون read the question. What is the biggest challenge, okay, that you may face when implementing the 5E models in your classroom? Okay, so you have to choose one of this. انتوا برأيكم هلا بعد ما شفتوا ال 5E models اذا بدكم to apply these in the classroom. Okay, هيدي مثل voting. What do you think your biggest challenge is? Okay, so I need you to go here and to choose. Yeah. مشي معكم اللينك؟
Yeah.
Yes, it's
ايه
working.
it's working.
يلا great. خليني فوت بس انا بالاكونت ليبين عندي النتيجة.
أنا I have already submitted.
يلا. I just want to go to log in from my account ليبينوا عندي الإجابات. Okay, so بس please yes through the QR أول هيدي please فوتوا عليهم and submit your answers. وهيدي كتير حلوة طريقة تعملوها مع تلاميذ عندكم بالصف. شوفوا هون for example كيف إجاباتكم بتبين أو كيف إجابات طلابكم بالصف ممكن تبين. Okay. طب لحظة شوي. نشيل فيديو. اوكي هلا انتم بعدكم عم بتجاوبوا وبعدها عم تتغير الريزلت. اوكي Okay, I need to view the results.
I'm done.
يلا hold on. Just wanna...
مستر هاني بس كرمال بس ظبط الجدول تبعي regarding the session قد ايه بعد فيه؟
بعد في like 20 minutes. Okay.
Okay, take your time but just like a question. Thank you so much.
Okay dear, yeah. هو المفروض يرجيني اياه من هون بس لانه I created it من قبل. يلا hold on. اوكي so مثل ما شفتوا بصير بفرجيني شو الاجابات اللي مرقت معنا and how can I check them? What's wrong? Menti. هيدا الويب سايت كتير حلو to include it when you integrate technology in your classroom. وفيكم مش بس تحطوا الإجابات in that way، في different ways where you can see your results.
Mentimeter.
Mentimeter.com. Yes, it is called mentimeter.com. يعني اوكي ده تقدي كان في هون اكثر شيء اخذت معنا، شفتوا كيف بقسم لكم اياها finding appropriate resource for each stage. بس let me هون بالنسبه لل finding appropriate resource فوتوا على هيدا perplexity.ai. okay, perplexity.ai it will help you as a resource. تاني شيء managing time كمان when you go to AI كيف قالنا هلا مستر أحمد I think إنه within less than 30 seconds دغري بيطلع عنكم what you need to do. Alright? To adapt the model to different subjects it does. كمان use AI and it will help you a lot. أو assessing student learning effectively كمان no it's not gonna be a constraint for you because بالعكس بتساعدكم to be able to evaluate your students in a correct manner and in an effective manner. okay, and you're gonna see this عن جد لما تلاقوا الريزلت كيف تتغير على الطلاب عندكم in the class. alright, now when I go back over here فنحن اتفقنا انه ب our lesson plan we will include the objectives in that way. okay, and كمان اتفقنا انه the teaching process اللي نحن traditional teaching we used to write classwork and what we're gonna be do is that when we can include the information of the teaching process هيك using the 5E models. ما هيك؟ طيب هلا next حكينا قديش مهمين البراكتيكال اكتيفيتيز لنحط ال 5E models and Bloom taxonomy. بدنا نحكي هلا عن differential learning. Before I talk or before I explain anything, I need you to make brainstorming. I just need you to look at these figures اللي أنا حطيتهم مع التايتلز. And what can you add? Okay? Or what can you explain? What can you tell me when you see all of these?
Like students learn differently.
Okay.
Yeah, they can learn. We have we can say psychomotor. They can learn. Let me
You mean
brainstorm.
through hands-on activities?
Yeah. وفينا على الاوديتوري مثلا انه فينا او فيجوال مثلا
Okay.
كل واحد بيتعلم شكل انه مش التلاميذ كلها تتعلم نفس الشيء.
They all have different levels of thinking.
Okay, levels of thinking and مش بس levels
way.
of thinking.
The way.
وشو كمان وinterest.
وinterest, right.
وinterest, right? Okay. Does anyone need to add anything before I start, Miss Layal?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that if you want to really satisfy all the learning styles in this class, we have to vary in the activities. We have, for example, if you are moving on the 5E model learning, we can vary, for example, by using an engage part for visual, in the explore phase for example, auditory,
Excellent.
for explain part, the reading writing student, for example, kinesthetic student, hands-on activities, which goes for elaboration. So we can vary in activities in order to satisfy all the students' needs.
Thank
all
you.
the students,
Thank you.
yes, you're welcome.
عن جد thank you for making the link لأنه كان بدي أرجع أحكي عنه آخر شيء. Thank you for making this link. نحن أخذنا different objectives بينكتبوا حسب البلوم وأخذنا different models وهلا عم ناخذ different learning styles و different learning style وعم نحكي عن differential learning. It's very important إنه نحن we're creating different activities so to be able to address the 4 types اللي نحن عنا إياهم لهدول الطلاب بالصف. Let's do the activities different. يعني خليني for example أعمل شيء للفيجوال for example حضرهم فيديو برجع بالنسبة للأوديتوري ببلش بحكي القصة بدون visuals قدامهم. Now I can grab their attention. Maybe يعني you have different ideas, you have different styles, you have different things that you need to take into consideration during your lesson plan. It's very important to take into consideration all the learning styles, the abilities, and the interests بليز هو ثلاثة مهمين، الابيليتيز والانترست والlearning style تبع كل تلميذ أنا عندي بالصف. And this has to be included in my lesson plan. كيف؟ مثل ما قالت مثل عيال by providing different activities that address كل تلميذ أنا عندي إياه بالصف حسب learning اللي هو بحبه، حسب الشيء that grab الاتنشن تبعه. يمكن أعمل by providing extra support للlow achievers، يعني في عندي low achievers بالصف they need more work, more support. Maybe when I include this in my lesson plan it will help me a lot. يعني أنا هيدا التيبس هيدول differential learning they will be written within the 5E model. عرفتوا بالبروسيس لأنه هيدي it's a process of learning. يعني لما أحط activity for example through auditory عم بحطها for example بالexplore phase، يمكن للهاندز اون اكتيفيتي حطهم بالاكسبلور بالالابوريت ما بعرف، او حتى بالايفالويت فيز. سو هيدول they will be included بالتيبل اللي انتم اخذتوها قبل شوي اللي هي ال 5E models which addresses different learning style. I need to provide challenging questions for high achiever. يعني نحن دايما بتلاقوا بنشتغل كتير على low achievers او اللي عندهم learning difficulties. طب ما كمان ال high achievers we need to work on them. Why don't we give riddles? Why don't we make competitions? Why don't we provide challenging questions for these high achievers? So it is an important task to include all of this in your 5E model. يعني before I show you this, when you go back to here بتكونوا انتوا you are including the activities according لهيدول learning styles. كان حدا عم بيحكي؟
Yeah, what do you mean by interest? Can you talk more about it? No interest for every student. No, if I know my student, how
يعني
does or
أنا
feel
حاخد ليك حجاوبك حسب بنتي أنا، أوكي؟ أنا بنتي مثلا her interest is drawing. It's all about drawing. كتير بتحب الرسم بنتي. So أنا for example إذا بدي let's say اشرح لتلميذ البلانت، أنا I can give them hands-on activity related to drawing plants. رح تلاقي هيدا التلميذ اللي بحب الدروينج أبدع هون. إذا تلميذ بحب يعمل hands-on activities، إذا قلت لهم مش draw the plants، إذا قلت لهم okay let's do through crafts، تعالوا نعمل plant، هاي قدامنا الكاردبورد and so on. So هون you are addressing the students اللي بحبوا ال hands-on activities. For example إذا قلت لهم I have a plant وصار عندها هيدي البروبلم، how do you think I can help this plant اللي ما عم تقدر تشرب مي؟ بتبلش الكرييتيف questions عندهم وببلشوا بيكتبوا لك their ideas. يعني did you get my point? You go to their interest and to their learning style. شو هن بحبوا؟ هذا التلميذ بحب الدروينج، يعني هذا learning style تبعه له علاقة بالدروينج. هذا التلميذ بحب يكتب، يعني هذا التلميذ اللي هو read and write. هذا for example التلميذ بحب يمكن يرسم كتير، يعني هذا التلميذ visual, right? طيب هذا التلميذ
يعني they can show, excuse me, they can show their answers by drawing or maybe writing the sentences about it.
True. So it depends on انت which activity. يعني انت when you go back to this نحن عرفنا كيف بدنا نعبيهم، now صرنا عم نفكر فيهم بعد بطريقة غير. اوكي عم نفكر انه انا عم بعبيهم I want to address every type of student in my classroom to be able انه انا كون عم بعمل provide ل different activities for different learners بقلب الصف عندي. عرفتوا؟ Did you get my point?
Yeah,
Yes,
thank
you
you.
did. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Actually, Ms. Tahani, I would like just to share something
Yes, sure.
about what you were talking about differentiation. If you just want to give them sample about my classroom and about our lesson plan. I teach here in Dubai International Private School.
Yes.
It is a must, not just we have options. It is a must for every session that we are going to prepare 4 differentiated activities. يعني I don't have time just to share because we have many things still you have to share with them. My lesson plan, يعني if you are going to speak about the starter, the mini activities, the main activity itself with respect to us every day, each session, it's supposed to be made up of 4 main activities. We put 2 learning outcomes for each group. We have a seated plan and the students are divided into my classroom. I just have the yellow, the extension group, I have the blue, the core, and I have just the purple, the pink, and I have the SOD students. At the beginning, At the beginning,
Sorry,
all of us we consider that
Miss Maha, what do you mean by the SOD students?
students with a special needs.
Okay.
So also we include special activities for students that have special needs because we have inclusion in my at my school. At the beginning, we consider it as a punishment, really, because it's not easy just to prepare many activities. But sure, with artificial intelligence, as one of the teacher mentioned, that it was easy just and I put the sample, the structure of my lesson plan that I need learning outcome for the extension and sample activity learning outcome for the support, etc. At the beginning, it was a little bit difficult just because thinking about a lesson plan that need how many times. But believe me, when you are going to do that, many of the problem, especially when it comes to the students who are just hyperactive, who just are not demotivated in our session, if they are the low achiever or if they actually are going to be the high achiever. High achiever because they are special needs students too. And as she mentioned, special attention for the low achiever, but no, they are the same. So starting with that, day by day, everything is organized in the classroom because even though the low achiever, they are interested because the exam itself that I'm going to give to them, we do 3 levels at my school. And we don't test the students, we don't test, we have the same objectives, the same learning outcome, but when it comes to the assessment based on their level. So the students, the low achiever now, for example, I was distributing today just exams, they have 19. You can't imagine his face saying, oh, 19 English, I'm going to study. And we just give them, by starting the differentiation, we give them a push. So at the beginning, just everything at the beginning is going to be a little bit difficult, but you as a teacher, when you are going just to be familiar with that, it will make the classroom better, and everything is going to be organized. The students are going to be more engaged, more motivated to do that.
True. I totally agree with you. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't want just to take a lot of time. Yes.
لا بالعكس، انا كثير حب السيشن، انا حب الشيرنج الايدياز اللي عم بيكونوا شيرنج الاكسبيرينس، لانه كنا بنستفيد من بعضنا.
Exactly, because we learn
هلا مثلها بخليهم يحسوا انه قديش it's very easy. يمكن اول او ثاني مره it's gonna be a little but then it's gonna be خلص شيء habitual يعني منه هالبيج especially بوجود
it is a must. يعني if I'm gonna share if we're gonna have a time I can share my screen, it is a must. يعني that is the lesson plan, that is the template we are supposed, and we do. You were talking before about assessment. It is a must after each learning outcome to do a short quiz. We call it the progress checker, because I want to know how can I know that my students are able to learn what I mentioned this session. So it is a must. If I have 2 learning outcomes, I need to do 2 quizzes.
True.
Just 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 question using Kahoot, using quizzes or any other type. And with today technology facilitates everything, but we need to be smart using it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing this. It's very important what you have mentioned at the end. وهذا الشيء اللي أنا كمان قلته. نحن in Arabic we say اللي هو يا الله شو اسمه التقويم التكويني اللي هو الانجليش اللي نحن عم نشتغل عليه، اللي هو الفورمات مثل فورمات اسسمنت. يعني قلت لكم اتس لايك
تقييم يومين.
يس لا سوري التقييم مش التقويم. ليش؟ لانه after we do هيدا التقييم للتلميذ we find where the gaps are. اوكي بعدين نرجع نحن بنجرب نقوم هيدا الاعوجاج اللي هو عنده اياه. يعني we fix هيدول
we put a plan and this will have an idea where to start the next session. يعني إذا أنا من اللي بعملهم even though 2 minutes but it's gonna give me an idea إذا أنا what I'm going to do the second يعني the second session. حتى I'm giving a chance for the students to celebrate their success لأنه they are so happy لما بيشوفوا they are able, for example, to have 10 out of 10. And sometimes I do it just 5 questions or sticky notes or anything, but it's a daily routine. And what I want to say that now the students used to complain before, now they consider as a daily routine. And they are going to tell me, okay, teacher, we're done, let us do the quizzes. Okay, they became familiar. When the
Yeah.
students are going to consider this, the starter, the everything you mentioned, it's supposed to be our daily routine, part of our activities the students are going to be familiar with, and everything is going to run smoothly later on.
صح. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. هون now I want to show you something بس لما نكون عم نحكي هيك من عنا. نحن when we were talking about differential instruction أعطيتكم هلا case study. I will read it in front of you and then I need you to fill for me يعني the questions which I'm gonna be asking you about. Okay. I need to know what is the strategy that was followed by the teacher. Okay. So here we have a high school classroom. There's a teacher. Her name is Jessica. She implemented a differential instruction model to cater the diverse need of her students. All right. She started by providing variety of materials. تابعتوا هوني with different learning strategies, different teaching methods, including هيدول الاشياء اللي هن حاطينهم اللي هن مثل text, مثل audio, مثل video, مثل hands-on activities and for different learning styles. She also offered multiple ways for students to demonstrate their understanding. كيف؟ هيدا كنا عم نحكي عنه. Through written assignments كمان أو through presentations أو through group discussions and so on. So أنا هون هلا my question is what was her approach للدifferential instruction برأيكم؟ What do you think؟ نحن دايما بس نكون عم نحكي عن differential instruction يعني عم بحكي عن 3 أشياء، عم بحكي شو الكونتنت اللي عملتها أو شو البروسيس أو شو البرودكت. كيف يعني؟ خلينا نشوف. شو الكونتنت هون اللي عملته برأيكم؟ في عندي هون هاند شيء؟ لا. Think about it. What was her ideas أو her plans كرمال هيدا؟ Miss Maisa?
I'm Miss Jamila. So use teaching methods like she included texts and audio and video resources. So she used the learning styles, different learning styles here, and hands-on activities for students.
Okay.
Yeah, she made sure that she followed the interests of her students in class.
Okay.
The variety of materials also.
اوكي طيب let me just ask you هون الكونتنت خلينا بس نبلش نفهم هون 3 هون الكونتنت لما انا بدي اشتغل differential instruction بالصف اوكي هون الكونتنت كيف التيتشر هذا كثير مهم الكيس ستادي اوكي يعني انا مستعده الغي كل شيء بس هيدا لا هيدي كثير مهمه لكم لتحطوها بقلب الليسن بلان عندكم لنعرف كيف بدنا نمشي فيها بالصف اوكي فانا لقيت هيدي المشكله والتيتشر عم تشتغل هلا على differential learning so الكونتنت اوكي when I say the content يعني كيف عرضت المعلومات كرمال differential learning فأنا هون لما أطلع بالكونتنت شو استعملت التيتشر strategy بالكونتنت what do you think did she use for example diversity of materials
we need when it comes to the content we are supposed to take into consideration the lecture level for each group يعني we are going to have the same selection sometimes, but we're going to change the level for each group based on their age. I'm speaking about English, for example.
يعني you're talking about different teaching styles.
No, not just the teaching style. I'm not teaching about the types of learning. I'm teaching when it comes to the content, for example, in English. I just mentioned that I prepared 3 different levels. For example, the same story, I'm using artificial intelligence. Yes. The same story, but I'm changing the lecture level. Yani it make it, for example, easy for students. It depends each age they are supposed to understand a certain level. So I make it for the core not the same. Yani when it comes to differentiation, because I need to focus on something that teachers, when we ask sometimes teachers to do differentiation, they started to give the students different activities. They are going sometimes to be, yani the teachers themselves are confused because they believe that when it comes to differentiation, yani I'm gonna change the skill. Here it is writing, for example, I'm teaching them writing. So here they are supposed to write, the other group no. So for example, concerning content, if I'm gonna work in content, I change the level, lecture level of the students. Yani I choose the same story, for example, for my students. Or today we were doing, for example, writing. So the sample model, it is the same. We were explaining in order for my students, especially the low achiever, not to feel that they are reading something different. No, it was the same story, but I did a change with less details. For example, I with less details, the level is easier.
اوكي
It's for the advanced
اوكي بس
level.
هون انت ما عم تشتغلي كونتنت، انت هون صرت عم تشتغلي البروسيس. انتبهتي شو قصدي؟ الكونتنت هي how you are delivering، بس لما تبلشي تفوتي بهدول الديتيلز يعني what is the teaching
Okay, and
process.
I mean, no, I took the content as what is the materials we are going to use it. يعني the content I'm using my students. I got it. I got it.
لا ممكن تكون الكونتنت that you are using for example هيدي الكونتنت كيف انا بدي اعرضها قدام الاولاد. It's very important اخذ into consideration انا كيف بدي اعرضها، وبده يكون في diverse of materials قدامي، اشياء visual، اشياء for auditory and
Yeah, it's
عرفتي؟
depend on the learning. We use that depending on the learning style. يعني sometimes we
Yes.
not sometimes, usually prepare extra material. For example, character traits, I prepare a map for the visual. We have a video. We write, for example, on the board, depending on the types of students we are learning. And we do
Yes.
adaptation for different things. Adaptation concerning participation, adaptation concerning the quantity, because you know
Okay.
some students are not just able to do the same. We do adaptation concerning equal, يعني many things, time, participation, the input we're going to give to our students, everything. We have a big list we're following.
Yes, yes, true. Yeah, true. اوكي طب مثل ما قالت اسمها it's very important انه نحن ننتبه لهدول الايشوز where we are doing هيدا differential learning، وفي عندكم هدول strategies اللي بدي اتبعهم معهم. يعني for example بالبروسيس انا وعم بشرح للاولاد شو عملت، she included she included text, she included audio, she included videos, she included resource, hands-on activity. هدول هن البروسيس اللي هي عم تشتغل فيها. and by the end البرودكت تبع الطلاب how are they giving me this product، يعني هيدا learning outcome how are they demonstrating their understanding for me. Some are doing this يمكن through assignments or presentations or group discussions or drawing or journals or writing and whatever. So هيدا الاوتكم اللي عم بيجي لعندي كيف عم بيجي لعندي حسب اي learning level and learning strategy and so on. So it's very important هون خليني هيدا it's very important انه هيك بتكونوا عطيتوا كيف كنا عم نحكي انه نحن بنكون عطينا كل طالب حقه بالشيء اللي هو يعني their interests and their ideas and so on. So دايما انتبهوا please بالdifferential learning وبوجود ال AI منها صعبة أبدا. I can give the AI the problem and they can solve it for me. بيعطوكم شو الكونتنت وشو البروسيس والبرودكت كيف ممكن ينعطوا to be able to address different type of learners حسب ما هن. اوكي هلا بعد في عندي بارت كتير مهم اللي هو الاساينمنت، كمان انا هيدا حاطته بالليسن بلان بس افرجيكم كيف شكله قبل ما اشرح. اوكي انا هيك حاطه البارت تبع الاساينمنت. اذا بتلاحظوا نحن عاده بس نعطي هوم ورك عادي solve page 81 number 5 بس this is not the way and this is not the habitual. يعني هذا ما بده شيء regular هو اللي عم بيصير. نحن في عنا different types of assignments that have to be taken into consideration. كمان حتى ننوعها للولد. في عندي اشياء مثل oral homework، يعني اشياء بدهم يعملوا لها يمكن recitation، مثل paper work اذا كان في عندي شيء paper work، مثل extra sheet and so on، مثل project، مثل PBL اللي هي project based learning when you combine different than one subject together، ومثل online assignment. البيبر ممكن تكون شيء sheet انتوا عاطينه اياها، او ممكن تكون شيء from the book. بس انتوا هون بس انه to be brief about this issue، انتوا هون when you are looking at your lesson plan تعالوا بتشوفوا which part من هون انتوا you are missing with your children in the class, with your students in the class. أنا I have to include هدول different types of assignments. الهومورك لحتى يكون الهومورك للأولاد شيء ممتع، شيء حلو. اوكي فانا هون let me go شوي بسرعه فيهم لانه حسيت حالي طولت عليكم. بس it's very important انه نحن الاساينمنت تكون عم تتاخذ بطريقه حلوه للاولاد، وفي عندي diversity of assignments. يعني كمان هون I am taking into consideration differential learning. مش دايما عم بتكون فيكم تعطوا flip learning. انا اذا انتبهتوا حتى شيء اسمه online homework I can just give a link. اذا بتفوتوا for example على live worksheet خبركم شغله عنها، وهيدي كنت دائما اسمعها انه باللايف ورك شيت الولد بحلها بيشوف غلطه بيصلحه بيبعت لك العلامه 10/10 ما عندي مشكله، لانه لايف ورك شيت ما بيعطيه الجواب صح بس بقول له وين غلطه، والتلميذ حيضله عم بحك براسه ليعرف وين غلطه ويرجع يحله. انا بالنهايه ما بيهمني العلامه اللي عم يبعث لي اياها قد ما بيهمني انه كل ولد عندي بالصف
True.
فهم الاوبجيكتيف معي حق او لا. So it's very
Exactly.
important.
صح, you're totally true.
Yes. It's very important to make sure that they understand the concept. وهو التلميذ بعد ما يفهم الكونسبت ويبعت لك اياها انه اخذت ولا 10/10 it's gonna be so يعني it's gonna be fun for him. وبنفس الوقت اخذ هيدي الاوبجيكتيف اللي انت بدك اياه ياخذها، عرف وين غلط وما رح يرجع يغلطه وبعت لك اياها in a fun matter in a fun way. في اشياء على لايف ورك شيت they just do dragging بيقعدوا بيلعبوا فيهم. يعني انا بنتي كانت بس تزهق بنتي او شيء ضل فوتها لايف ورك شيت وبعطيها اشياء تحله مات انجلش عربي whatever ساينس، بتلاقوا كثير اشياء and this help them to be always creative to be always ماشيين in parallel مع الاوبجيكتيف تبع الصف عندهم and even more. alright, so it's very important to include different types of assessment. انا هون بس بدي تفوتوا على هيدا اللينك بليز تجربوا بس تكتبوا لي what types. هلا انا لحظه شوي هون بدي هيدا اللينك اعطيكم اياه بليز تفوتوا عليه، وانا بيهمني انه تفوتوا على اللينك تشتغلوا فيهم لانه انتم I want you to include them in your lesson plan in your class تكونوا عم تشتغلوا edtech مع الاولاد. اوكي سو خليني اعطيكم هيدا اللينك بليز جربوا فوتوا عليه، جربوا البادلت كمان تعرفوا على البادلت كثير حلوه. yes okay just press on the link please and when you do you're gonna be having this. yeah you can create different type of questions, different way to show your answers. اوكي هون بس تفوتوا I want you to answer هون، هيدا بيشتغل مثل فيسبوك. you just write a comment. I think there's no need to log in, and if you need to log in you can log in through your Gmail. okay okay هون if you log in through your Gmail when you write for me it will write your name. okay personal assessment يعني diagnostic interview with every kind of child or with every kind of student. okay what else بليز فينا كنا نفوت عليه لللينك لنستفيد منه نتعود عليه البادلت. you mean self-evaluation. okay like live worksheets you can self-evaluate yourself. peer assessment nice and it's the very students do like it a lot by the way. true what else project-based learning. For those who do not know what do I mean by project-based learning, it is a project created by the students using 2 or more subjects. okay مثل STEAM إذا بدكم STEM educational games like wire worksheet projects or researches. exactly okay so let me move on from this but it's very important تحفظوا هيدا شيء اسمه padlet.com. أنا هدفي كان فيه to make you share ideas together and to make you use this in your classroom with your kids. يمكن through an assignment فيكم تعطيهم سؤال ويفوتوا يجاوبوا عليه and this is how we can integrate technology also كمان. okay طيب let me move now to here. okay هيدي طيب so as I told you this is the part screenshot from my assignment part which I have in my lesson plan. كتير مهمة to include different types of assignment. okay now آخر شيء بدنا نحكي عنه هو شيء اسمه teacher reflection. what do I mean by teacher reflection؟ أنا I have this كمان هيدي screenshot from my lesson plan. okay هلا بهيدي اللي أنا شحتها فيها how can I evaluate myself, how can I reflect my work by the end of مش each session. أنا بقول لهم دايما للتيتشرز هيدي I do not want it, it's for you. I want you to write true, done or not done for you to use it next time when you are creating هيدا الويكلي lesson plan for your children for the kids. Okay, ليه؟ هل الشيء اللي انا عملته فوق it was important هون فيكم تحطوا اللي بدكم اياه بقلبه. انا بالنسبه لي حبيت احط هدول الديتيلز. بالنسبه لكم ككوردينيتورز او كتيتشرز او ك HOD او whatever, do write what you need, but it's very important to reflect شو عملنا، شو كان ناجح. هون ببين معكم when you recheck the 5 days اللي نحن عملنا فيهم وخلقنا فيهم this lesson plan, if I followed the 5E models correctly, if I was able to cover all the objectives needed in Bloom taxonomy step by step, if I was able to make the students understand the concept, if I integrated technology in my learning, did I cover all the learning styles؟ هذه كتير مهمة كلمة differential learning. Did I do learning activities or where my class is traditional؟ يعني فيكم to add whatever you need, but it's very important that at least تحطوا 5 questions by the end of your weekly lesson plan to be able to know where are your gaps, where can you make yourself better, where you need to work on yourself more. هل الobjectives حطيتهم نقدر تغطيهم او لا؟ هون شو ببين معكم انه انا لما اجي اعبي هيدي البلان for example let's say هون اوكي انا اول يوم شرحت فيه الدرس right وجينا عبينا الليسن بلان تبعت الاوبجكتيف عبيناها كلها and then by the end of the week انتبهت انه انا ما حطيت شيء بالكرييت. يعني I did not work on the create part بهيدا الدرس المعين for example ال LCM let's say lead common multiple. I did not do any create activity, I did not make the students gain any create objective. هون بعرف انه انا في عندي شيء missing كان بالobjectives انا عندي اياهم and I need to work on myself more for the next time. حتى انتوا عم بتحضروا عملنا Monday Tuesday Wednesday Thursday. طب Thursday انتبهت انا بعدي مش معبي شيء بالكرييت وهذا اللي كثير معلومات بينسوه. So please always go back. هيدي كثير مهمة. Always go back to all of this. هيدي بس تعملوا انتوا هيدا reflection لإلكم. It will help you a lot to know where your gap is to work on it. Okay? Thank you so much. بتمنى كثير انه تكون قدرت اشتغل معكم على اشياء تفيدكم. هدول السكرين شوت اللي انا فرجيتكم اياهم من الليسن بلان اللي انا بشتغلها. اذا بهمكم I will share with you my lesson plan. بس ما بعرف how can I share it Miss Maha. Okay, I don't know where can I share it. بس انا فرجيتهم اياها.
share بالشات.
Okay, but يعني it's gonna be only for the participants and
what you are sharing on the chat, I'm just sharing on the Facebook. يعني I'm just having the link from here and I'm sharing. Don't worry. Just
okay.
Also, I would like to remind them the participant here on Zoom. If you please, I shared the attendance link, so do make sure to fill in for the certificate, and you will receive it via email. Okay. And I share it here and I share it on Facebook, sure.
Okay. Before we go, let me just show them my lesson plan. Okay. Hold on. I wish إنه أنا كنت حاططها بوجهه. أنا ما عاملة حساب إنه شو شارت بس خليني بشوف وين.
It's okay.
Okay.
You can send it to the drive, I think, and then copy and give us the confirmation so we can open the link.
Okay. هيدي معباية for example. Okay. معباية by my teacher, one of my teachers. Forget about the content. Okay, so here, for example, your lesson plan. When you are fulfilling your lesson plan, you write which week you are in, and that your name and which class you are giving. The objectives here, I made just like it's like an introduction for all the teachers, what to use in it. أكيد في عنا instructional materials. Okay, as you can see. So here, for example, it is for day. Okay, and here I start, and let me re-mention something. And we cannot exceed more than 3 objectives in that section. Okay, and to follow the SMART objective, which I told you about. They have to be measurable, they have to be achievable by the students, they have to be time-bound, they have to be relevant, okay? Yeah. Here, you write the objectives, okay? For example, here I have only one objective. We write it. Okay, the instructional materials, what you're gonna be using when you are preparing yourself and you have an activity. This is very important for you not to forget your things and not to forget what you need to take with you. The process, as you can see, what do we write in the engage, the explore, the explain, the evaluate part, and the elaborate part. Here, for example, كان عندنا new concept ما معنا وقت نعملها, and we do the evaluate part for the next session. Here نحن عندنا what kind, في عنا oral assignment يعني recitation لشيء معين يعني and هلا بالليسن بلان لما يكون في عندي application session I ask my teachers not to fulfill it again. ليه؟ لأنه يعني ما relevant. أنا بس بهمني in the other session might already بس ينحط قدامي شو الobjective اللي عم برجع بشتغل عليها مع الأولاد. إذا كان في شيء objective for the same one هي امبارح فبيكونوا نفس الشيء so no need. بس إذا كان في new objective so you need to redo all of this لأنه كل objective بدي أعرف كيف بدها تنشرح. This is very professional lesson plan and this is very beneficial for the kids and for the teachers to know your gaps and to let them know their gaps. وهيك صدقوني ما بيكون في أصلا gaps. اوكي هلا حفتش بس على فورم فاضي وبرجع ببعتها لمس منال and she's gonna share that with you. Okay?
Okay, please.
Okay, thank
Nice.
you.
Thank you everyone. Sorry إذا طولت عليكم بعرف راجعين من الشغل تعبانين. يعطيكم ألف
And I
عافية.
have work. I
Thank
have
you
a
for your
student. Thank you
time.
so much. It was so
Thank you so much
beneficial.
for your time.
Thank you.
Thank
حدا كان عم
you.
يسألني شيء.
No, it was so beneficial. Thank you. The information was really interesting, and every
It
teacher
was, yeah.
needs to know that.
Thank you so much. And just thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
this feedback. يعطيكم ألف عافية جميعا.
وأنت يعطيك العافية.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye.
Ms. Tahani, on behalf of International Students Development Council and International Internship University, we would like to thank you. It was really amazing session. Yani, even though it's a long session, but it's very important for every teacher. You almost cover everything. Yani, it's not just about the lesson plan. You cover differentiation. You cover different learning style, the 21st century skills. So we are really grateful for your time. And sure, we are looking forward for future collaborations. Thank you a lot for giving us a lot of your time. And also, I would like to thank all the participants. We have active engagement. I'm just receiving notification that we want to share, but we don't have a chance because actually today we have amazing audience. We have whether here or in Facebook, we receive many positive feedback for this session. So thank you all for your attendance, and again thank you, Ms. Tahani, for your amazing training session. The floor, is yours if you would like to add something before we are going to say goodbye for everyone.
No, thank you so much for attending. Thank you for the active participation. Fulfill the link that Mrs. Maha gave you to take your certificate. It's my pleasure to give this session for everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms.
And
Maha.
thank you. Sorry, كمان باسم St. George and the teachers of the St. George, Mrs. Ruwaida. Thank you very much. And عن جد كتير استفدنا كتير كانت حلوة. Thanks a lot. Whenever بيكون في هيك, please count us in.
Okay.
Usually we do many sessions, so if you are interested, you can attend. You can join our WhatsApp group. Usually every week or every 2 weeks we have many sessions. I'm trying to include just such types of sessions which are going to be beneficial for a teacher, because especially nowadays, it is not enough.
We need it. We need it.
Usually we are supposed to be updated. So next week we are going to have a session, and every week you can say, or maximum 2 weeks, we have free sessions for all the teachers. So if you are interested,
of course we'll be interested.
You can join our group. I don't know, maybe you can contact Ms. Tahani. She has a direct contact with you, and I'm going to add you to the group. You are more than welcome, and really, you are amazing. Yes, Ahmed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I would like to thank you as a company virtual world and Mr. Tahani. Actually, I liked the workshop. I liked the integration of lesson plan. I'm sorry, the differentiated instruction with the 5 E's and the Bloom's taxonomy in one session, which is really amazing. I really recommend every student to follow. And I hope like it was like recorded to forward to other to all colleagues.
Actually, it's a recorded session. Usually, we upload it on YouTube. We do that so because we have audience from different countries, and due to the different time zone. So yeah, some audience they don't have a chance to attend the session, so they can do that. Also, Miss Tahani can share the link, or you can follow us actually on our page,
Facebook
International Internship University. So you can find the YouTube. And maybe since you are so active, Miss Tahani, we can do a session for them to share what they are going to implement in the classroom. Because what Miss Tahani mentioned before is not just important, it's not just enough to know the procedure. So later on, we can organize, maybe we're going to give you just 1 month, and later on, we can organize a session. You can share with us successful story and how this training session help you to do a change inside your classroom. Not necessarily to be a direct change. You are going to see the transformation just throughout the month. So you can share with us successful stories. You can share with us a challenge you're still facing. So Mr. Tahani can suggest solutions to help you, or anything you would like to share or to know more about creating a lesson plan. A good or professional lesson plan for your students, because everything, even though I've been teaching for more than 20 years, and I usually say, if we are not going to be well prepared, we are not going to be able to give a good session for our students. And it's not just that say I'm a teacher, I can do. No, when you are going, for example, to have a good lesson plan, you're going to be confident about yourself. You are going to know every single detail, what is going to happen inside the classroom. Sure, sometimes we have certain we face certain problems. Maybe we have something that encounter is going to change a little bit the direction. But with the lesson plan, we are going to be able to overcome any challenge. We are going to be able to know how to deal with the different students with different problems, whether it's going to be academic or behavioral one. So just
I need to add something. It's very important what you have just said. Please, عن جد, apply what we have learned. Apply what we have applied. Do it. If you need anything, you can talk to me or you can talk to Miss Maha. I provided here for you 2 links of the chat. One is for the university, IIU, and one is for MOT, كمان my virtual institute. So you can always get the updates for us through these 2 Facebook pages. Okay. Thank you, everyone. بدك شيء بعد مني Miss Maha?
Yeah, but we are really grateful for this amazing session. Thank you for your time, and thank you for everything. Goodbye or good night. I don't know. Good night, I think, for some people. Good afternoon for other people, and hope we are going to see you in another session. Goodbye, everyone. Enjoy your time.
Thank you so much. يعطيكم العافية.